I see you're watching this video on YouTube. I highly recommend checking out the description below to find my channel on Odyssey and Library. The platform is ad-free after making an account and it has no evil overlords. Thank you. Hey folks, just thought I'd share a quick little tip trick that I do with my coding style. Anytime I've shown this to someone at work or just a friend, they seem to like it, may even start doing it themselves, but I haven't run into anyone else who does it. So thought I'd just make a video on it and show you how it can be useful. So I call it comment switches. I think it's kind of the best name for it because you're using comments to switch out your code. So over here I have a pretty generic Java file, just creating some dumb variables and another dumb variable based on some math. Then I've got this debug section and then just some logic that follows. So this debug section is kind of what I want to focus on. If I run the program right now, it's just going to do everything because nothing's actually commented out. So it's got all this debug code here and then it actually gets into the real logic. So if I didn't want this to show up, rather than coming through and putting that in front of each one, or actually just doing this and then this before and after and having to add that every time, what you can do is just put a space right there. So if I save the file, come over here and run the program again, that debug code is no longer in there. It just skips straight to the is, because this is no longer ending this comment. So this comment is running all the way to here. So this was helpful like back in school when I did stuff, and I used it a lot at work, but mostly in SQL. At work I do a lot of shell scripting, some Node.js, but not really Java. But I got another example over here. At work I use Oracle, and I've been doing that almost 7 years now, so most of my experience is in Oracle. But at home I went ahead and set up a MariaDB and Postgres database, and I use this a lot at work whenever I'm doing a new project, creating a bunch of new tables. I have a bunch of drop statements, triggers, and then I'm pre-populating the tables, and maybe I have a program that's going to be hitting them afterwards. So I'll put them all in one SQL file that I can just press F5 and just basically pretend like the project is going live, insert everything, and then also run anything else that's happening after that. So I did find a few nuances between Postgres and MariaDB actually. MariaDB acts just like Oracle, to where if I take that out, only this is commented out, and then test 1, 2 will show up. This one is similar, but you see that if I take that out, only test 2, 1 is taken out, and test 2, 2 will also run. So I can just go ahead and press F5 here. It'll run through it real quick. Skip that. I might have already dropped that on its own. So you see test 1, 2, test 2, 2, and there's a report title from down here, and then there's the PO that'll be closed, and then the total results of what happened. So that's all fine and well in MariaDB. So let's say you're actually working on some project and you've just run this once, so now your tables exist. So what you can do, I'm going to go ahead and remove this test code. I'll comment it out. So what you can do is you can add a space here, and then it's no longer going to do any of this. So now if I press F5, it's no longer going to drop the table or create it. It's going to do the inserts, and then the report, and then the update. So now PO5 is the one that's being closed, because PO2 was already changed, and I didn't drop and recreate the table. So now it's like, okay, the project is actually live whenever I put a space here, and then everything that runs afterwards. So then if I was to say, okay, I don't want to run the table population script anymore either, because that's only part of go live, add a space there, and F5, and now nothing should be in this report because no new POs were created. and just a slight summary there. So MariaDB, it works fine, just like Oracle, just how I'm used to it. Postgres, though, this is kind of a hint. If you notice that these are different than up here, it's because in Postgres, for whatever reason, it might be stacking these begin multi-line comments. So if I put a space here, it's actually commenting that and that out as well until it gets to the extra one. So, this one ends there, this one ends there, and this one is being ended here. And I thought at first that maybe this was just something in dbeaver, that maybe it was a bug. But then whenever I realized that MariaDB was working fine, I was like, wow, really? So I actually wrote a script. Well, first of all, let's F5 here and just see what happens. So we get test22 as the first result. So you see, I did not add a space there, and test12 did not show up. And then there's the report. PO2 is being closed. There's the summary. So if we go back over here, I wrote a quick script to hit the databases and actually send the file straight through a client rather than using dbeaver, because I wanted to see why dbeaver was doing that, and that was before I did the MariaDB part. So turns out Postgres, it acts the same through pSQL as it does through dbeaver. So if I run example.shell, so fun story, I actually already did all this once, and somehow my videos folder got deleted. So I do normally set my file permissions up correctly, but this is just the second time I'm doing everything. Okay, so example.shell, tell it current directory. So you can see in Postgres, it only did 2.2. Okay, and in, the file name changed the second time around. MariaDB. Well, it wants a password anyways. Okay. Let's try that again. So, test22, and it ran the rest of it. MariaDB, I saw that commented out. Let me change that real quick. Okay, so I'll have that there. I'll take that space back out. I'll set this all to be back to normal. And the debug down here, you haven't seen the debug get run yet because it's actually commented out in both. And over in Postgres, I had to do it with this type of begin line comment and then have this at the end of the single line comment. So let's see, I save this. 1.2 and 2.2 should show up now in the example over here. Weird, it actually showed all four. That's probably the name of the column. Let's try that again. One last time just to make sure. Yep, that was just the column name. Alright, well, that's really all I had about this. Feel free to use it. I mean, it's like I said, it's not anything that I own. It's just something that I've done as part of my style, and I think it's really neat. I think it's pretty helpful. Anyways, have a great day. Thanks for watching.